Hello, jabronis. Today, on episode 39 of Tylo and Eeloo, we're starting the episode in the vehicle assembly building. And as usual, when I'm making videos, it's because I'm at home and in pain. So, if I sound at times uninterested, strangled, muffled, or weird, that's not because I don't like you, it's because my mouth doesn't function properly. Anyway, this here is the continuation of the previous episode where we trained Kenlan the Kerbin up to 3 stars. And this, the Kenlan special, will launch him to the future, the orbital shipyard, where we will then be able to produce ships in orbit which will get us science and which will allow us to build colonization vessels in orbit rather than launch them every time. All to the service of getting money to get new parts to colonize Tylo and Eeloo, to harvest carborundum to make an interstellar starship or something, or just dick around. So we'll build the vessel. It's 75,000, it's rather cheap. And let's have a look at what's going to happen in the near future. Let's open up the calendar window. Oh, we'll have it here, the alarm clock. Actually, this is the first thing that's gonna happen. That's cool. And the next thing is in 170 days. So that's actually fine. We'll just warp to there. And while we're doing that, let me tell you a story. Tonight my girlfriend woke me up and said there was a mouse in the house. And me, being a grumpy, tortured patient with open jaw holes and pain, grabbed a sword and chased it through the house. And I may or may not have at some points hurled the sword at the mouse, and now there are certain walls and doors which have holes in them. The mouse, of course, is fine, as these things always go. So that was funny. Yeah, let's launch a spaceship, and I think this is going to be the only episode I'm going to be recording today because talking is a whole lot more painful than I thought it would be. Anyway, we gotta launch the Kenlan special, and there's something else I wanted to say. Oh yeah, I'll get to that once we're in orbit. Let's first get the vessel out there, and let's not forget to go to the Space Center to enable displaying of space stations and probes and landers and other things that would be nice to see in the map, because I figured out that this thing here, it affects what you see in the map screen whilst flying ships, so it's sort of important. Alright, let's get to it. Kenlan on the pad. Kenlan is actually gonna man it. I didn't explain so much about the ship. It's basically a one-man dockable spacecraft with some supplies. It doesn't have a heat shield. It's not meant to re-enter because Kenlan is gonna live on the space station forever. But it does have parachutes, so that in the case of a launch mishap, Kenlan may actually survive. Because, well, he's the 3-star guy. Now we're gonna wait until the future is like almost overhead, so that we may launch and make rendezvous slightly easier. I think unfortunately this does mean that we are gonna launch at night. Does it have to? No, it doesn't have to. I mean, I can wait until it's day and then wait until it comes around. Yeah, let's do that. Let's wait until it's day, because otherwise, well, we've got nothing to look at. Okay, now it's day. Now let's wait until the future is overhead. It's not like we've got a deadline to meet. Alright. I may have waited a bit too long now, but here goes. Oh yeah, this is a little bit, this rocket is more powerful than it minimally has to be. Oh god, I'm gonna stop speaking for a bit and just fly. Good, this is gonna be a very quiet episode, I think. thrusters. Say to a mute episode 40. Just no speaking. Just robots. This may in fact happen. I don't think it would be very good, but it may happen. Alright, let's see. I think I went too steep. We're going horizontal now. What's our apoapsis like? It's actually not too high. We need to go fairly high. We don't need to go for a marginal orbit. Oh, I'm loving this engine. It's really powerful. Yeah. And once we are in space cruising mode, I will get the video until we're close to the future, the orbital spaceship, the orbital shipyard. Once again, apologies for my horrible voice. I didn't know it would be this bad once I started recording, and I'm not putting on some kind of weird accent. It's kind of a byproduct of not being able to look yeah, separate the fairings. Boom. Look at the ship. Parachutes are now unnecessary, of course, but well, they're on there. So also we've got lights in case we have to walk in darkness. We've got some fuel in case of emergencies and to resupply the station. We have water, no, we have organics, and we have water as substrates for the station's hydroponics. I think this should do well. Oh, we're going too high. Look at that. Apoapsis. Hey, maybe we can make an immediate rendezvous. That would be nice. Yeah! It won't be the most Delta V efficient rendezvous, but yeah, 30 kilometers. Let's make that work. It's certainly the quickest. We'll rendezvous with the future before even establishing orbit. I think that's great. That means we don't have to cut out the video even. I can just do like this. And our relative speed now is 600 meters per second, and that's of course not a surprise because the space station is in orbit and we are not. But we are going to go ahead and minimize that speed difference. We're moving in this direction. 280 kilometers of altitude, 600 meters per second to go. Let's see, can we spot the future yet? Press it, I can see the future. I don't think so actually. Distance, 25 kilometers, it should be visible. At a 32 meter per second speed difference now. Let's use 100 meters per second to approach. Right. We are now out of fuel. So let's ditch this. And we brought here some fuel tanks for the station. But of course we are also free to use them to actually rendezvous with that station. Once Kenlan gets on board, the orbital shipyard will start building two things. One of the things, and it's also carrying spare rocket parts here, one of the things it will start building is a truss for the station, a docking truss with docking ports extended away from the station, and an airponics bay, which is something that is currently not present on the station. That was an oversight in design. And it will start the Eve Explorer, more accurately the Gilly Explorer, which will then of course fly off to Eve. So as soon as this mission succeeds, we will add a launch window for Eve to the alarm clock. For now though, it is docking. I will not deprive you of the magnificent approach to the space station. I did that in testing, it was pretty nice. So I'm going to record that, and then all the finagling to get the exact docking attitude correct I will do off screen, because, well, frankly that can get kind of boring. Also it will give me Alright, we are now properly rendezvoused almost, but 2 kilometers away. I think 20 meters per second is fast enough. Let's turn on the lights just because we can. This may help, or it may not. Let's turn them off again, we're in the sunlight. We're facing an eclipse, maybe? See, then we have lights. Alright, 1.6 kilometers away from the future. Then, not completely unimportantly, my computer is maintaining frames per second, which can be a little bit of a problem with space stations that grow large, but for now we don't have any issues with that. It's not 60 anymore though, it's 40. 50, 40. Oh well, we'll see how we manage with that. It will probably get horrible at some point. Apologies. Alright, 900 meters. If the docking fails, of course, we can still just pop Kenlan outside and ditch the supplies, just get our 3-star hero into the space station. But that's of course not the optimal condition. We want our supplies to reach the station. So we have more rocket parts, and we have some fuel, and well, generally have good things to perform future operations with. Approaching the shipyard with attached station. It's at a mere 200 meters now. You can make out the individual solar panels. And we're gonna pass by it now. And now we're in an attitude where we actually have a use for the lights, because we'll be approaching from the station's dark side. Look, we can illuminate it. That's actually really useful. Let's spot a docking port. Let's aim for that one. Whoops, that may have been overdoing it on the engine thrust. Get resting velocity. Right. Let's light her up. Oh dear. Maybe I want SAS. I don't have SAS, of course I don't. But still, this seems like something we can work with. I'm doing the RCS thing now. Braking a bit. I'm just staring at the nav ball. I have no idea. If you're saying it's going horribly wrong, I don't know it. Okay, on this course we will shear off a solar panel or two. That's maybe not good. Getting there, getting there. I have no idea what I'm doing. Yes. We are approaching. Hey, we may even do it without breaking solar panels. And hey, we brought an engineer. We'll be able to fix it. Come on. Engage the docking thrusters. Yeah. Whoa, we made it, and actually without breaking solar panels. Let's retract these just to be sure though. Can we not retract them? They're apparently unretractable now. Probably because I don't know why. Right. Let's have a look. Let's turn off these lights first. Let's see. Let's get the organics. Let's get the water into the hydroponics agriculture module. We'll need to build the hydroponics module. Let's get the water in. And we're gonna need some substrate as well. But we don't have that. Organics is actually the product of the agriculture module, but well, we brought that now from the planet, so there's no getting around that. But let's do the most important bit. Check on the supplies. See these 5 Kerbals that are up here now? They sure are eating their way through the supplies. So we gotta get that hydroponics module operational. But probably most importantly is that we now have a functioning orbital shipyard which is constructing in 2 days a probe to Eve. And can we make a queue? No. So we're gonna build this first and then start worrying about the docking truss. You can see here the necessity of a docking truss to extend some scaffolding this way so ships can just dock over here and not cuddle up to the solar panels all the time. Anyway, that's it for this episode. A little bit short, but I really can't do anything more with my horribly broken jaw. It's not actually broken, it's just not broken in the sense of not functioning properly. Thanks for watching. Next episode we'll do new and exciting things with this shipyard. I'm Lorenzo. See you later. Ouch.